thing we're going to be working on with Maya, now that we've established that we can catch her, we can move her left, right, forwards, backwards, walk, trot, canter on the ground. I'm going to add in an obstacle that we really like to introduce to horses. It's just a simple seesaw bridge. It's kind of narrow, makes noise, bends when they step on it. We really like using this not only just as kind of that obstacle confidence building training, but for me, more than anything, it's preparing them to self-load on trailers. I think one of the fundamental skills every single horse should have is being able to self-load on any trailer that you point them at. So this kind of symbolizes stepping onto something that's not completely steady, that makes noise, and is kind of narrow. And I'm not going to be directly in front of the horse, because if she decides to jump off the seesaw or run backwards or run forwards, I am not in that direct line of impact. So yeah, we're just going to see how Maya does with this. I'm going to apply all the same tools she already knows on the ground. There just happens to be something in the way this time. I'm not going to punish her if she chooses the wrong answer. I'm just going to try to guide her to the right answer. The only time I will get after a horse is if they try to get on top of me. Again, if we were trailer loading, it would be the same thing. Any answer is more acceptable than on top of me. So that's the only time you'll see me get kind of firm, is if a horse is trying to encroach on me and dive towards me, because that puts me in danger. All right, so I'm going to ask Maya to just step off like she's been doing on the ground, gentle pressure, and just, have her going in a circle towards the seesaw. If she chooses to go around it, that's okay. I think where a lot of people mess up with obstacles is they start making the obstacle a problem, right? You start scaring the horse because the horse doesn't want to cross it, okay? And I'm not saying I would want to play merry-go-round for an hour, but people punish horses for not understanding the goal. And I might need to grab a flag just to help a little bit. Yeah, that was a little bit better. Now, the reason I'm sending her in this direction is because this side of the seesaw is touching the ground. So theoretically, that's like a ramp trailer compared to the other side is more like a step up. And I'm going to grab my flag just so every time she chooses to come in on me, I'm going to touch her shoulder and ask her to take that shoulder away from me. Again, I'm not punishing her. I'm just reiterating boundaries. There just happens to be an obstacle here. Okay. She got a little flustered by that. Okay. Let her take a moment. Again, I'm not trying to make the seesaw the scary thing. I'm not trying to pick a fight. There. So we at least got a foot to touch it that time. Good. Hey, I'm going to try to put this side down. If it'll cooperate. Probably not. And we're getting a little bit better. There. Okay, okay, that was better. Okay. Her foot caught it that time. And this is really hard for horses. I mean, as you can tell, it's a big challenge. There was one foot. So I try to stop her anytime she puts a foot on it. Even if she's scampering across it like a feral cat, I will accept that over jumping on top of me or cutting in front of the bridge. Okay, that's better. And you don't want to make a horse sour to something before they even understand what it is. So I'd rather not do 600 circles before she gets it. I'm going to try again. So sometimes this is something you just have to break up into multiple sessions because it is mentally taxing on the horse, and you don't want them to shut down. So we'll just see how far we get. Okay, so that shoulder came in again. But you see, I'm not like making a ton of noise. I'm not whacking her in the shoulder because that would then just make this a really scary thing. I'm going to push it out, letting her know, hey, you're not giving me enough space. Okay, thinking a little bit about it. There was another foot. Now we're going to try the other way. Just because we're getting kind of sour, we're going to go this way. Okay. Good. Now the other thing I would accept is if she just wanted to square up at it and look at it or sniff it, that'd be great. Like that right there was better. That was an attempt at thinking about what are you asking me to put my feet on? Instead of just a knee-jerk reaction to jump over it or avoid it. There. I won't let her just ignore me though. So again, too, I mean, we have to remember that yes, the goal is to cross the bridge, but really the goal is to improve her handling when she's stressed out. Like getting her more confident. That when I ask her to approach something scary, I'm not trying to kill her. I'm not trying to put her in a situation where she's going to get hurt. This is actually just about building her confidence and getting her handling even better and less about the bridge. She thought about it. All right, we're going to change direction again. We got a little scared. Let's try again. There. So even right here, just her not rushing across it and looking at me is progress. Because again, I'm working on confidence. I'm working on handling. Don't get obsessed with the bridge. Okay. Yeah, good job. So, perfect example there. Giving the horse a couple of seconds to think and look at me. And we got a foot on the bridge. Very good. And then we take a break. Good job. Very good. You see, I mean, that's scary, right? She steps on it and it moves and it makes noise. So instinctively, a horse's brain is like, no, this is a terrible idea. Why would I cross this when I could just go around it on stable ground? You know, why would I put myself in danger? And that's where we have to have a sense of humor, because horses think we are complete idiots, right? And a lot of times we are. Okay, that was a little too close to me for my liking. And really, you have two ways of telling the horse to scoot over. So you have your flag. You also have your physical body. Where you place it creates a squeeze chute. There. Good job. And we take another break. Good. Very good. So like the closer I stand to this seesaw, the more pressure I'm putting on her. I'm creating a small little squeeze chute. The further away I am, the less stressful it is. And then the flag as well, right? The more I make noise with the flag, the more I touch her with it, the more pressure I'm putting on her, okay? So you can balance the two so that you don't stress the horse out too much, but you also don't just let them run over the top of you, right? Because that's not, that to me is always worst case scenario. Okay, almost. Try again. But yeah, I mean, we're working on lunging right now. We're working on softening to the halter. We're working on body control. And more than anything, we're working on emotional intelligence here. Trust me, where I put your feet, you're going to be okay. And she's getting frustrated. She's wanting to paw. She's wanting to start fighting. But we're just going to stay calm. And that was an attempt again. Still a little bit rushed. Still a little bit stressed. And it's funny, like our horses that know how to do this now, they'll get up here and just stand there because they know it usually means they get a break. So they'll put 2 front feet on it and just stand there, or they'll put all 4 feet on it and stand there. There. Tremendous. Much better. Much better. Good job. Good job. Good. That was 3 feet and not rushing. So like you might get all 4 feet, but if the horse is scampering across it terrified, I still don't call that a win, right? You're making progress, but ideally we just want the horse to quietly cross it and wait for the next thing. That was a huge improvement though. Hey, we're going to go back the other way. A little pressure on there. See how I just took 1 step closer that time? But again, you got to time it right. You don't want to do that at the wrong time. A little too close. Try again. Try again. Okay, calm down. Calm down. There. I would say I'm also cheating a little bit that I've got this seesaw up against the railing, because her other option would be to go around it on the outside, right? So right now I'm really only giving her 2 choices: go across it or come towards me. There. All right, she tried to go around it. Ooh, that was a good effort though. We're making progress. Good job. Just remember, it's not really about the bridge. It's really not. A horse that is really well trained and really confident and trusts you, it could be anything that's sitting right here and you could get them to cross it. That's the idea with trailer loading, right? It's not that they'll load on this one trailer really good. It's that any trailer you point them at, they're like, okay, I mean, I guess if this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. I trust you. You know, I'm going to be okay. There we go. Good. And I think that's what we do wrong with horses so much. Like as human beings, we get focused on the seesaw and we forget what the point of all this really is. And it's not about the seesaw. Now, as someone who has trail ridden extensively in my life, I do know the importance of a horse that will cross something like this for sure. I mean, it's definitely a realistic thing you can encounter. There we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It was my fault. I had my hand in the wrong place on the lead rope. There we go. It's funny, she's actually doing better in the direction where the ramp is off the ground, which is surprising, but hey, must be an overachiever. There, good. Good job, Maya. Take a break. Take a break. Good. Very, very good. I'll walk her away from it again. So another thing I'm looking for is that she emotionally starts to relax about this. Like she understands I'm not trying to chase her. All right. And we're not kind of panicking each time I ask her to approach it. Good job, Maya. That was much better. Much better. Yeah, and we're still being clumsy, right? We still don't have all 4 feet crossing in the center. But we're making a really good effort. There we go. That was good. Good job. Good job. All right, so I know it seems weird, but that's actually where I'm going to stop that exercise. We've got her crossing it without having a meltdown. I'm really careful with this kind of thing that I don't spend too much time on it, because then you can start having diminishing returns. Come on. So yeah, we get good progress, clearly improving from where we started, and we're going to move on to something else. Because if I let her sit and marinate on that and really think about what she just learned, I guarantee the next time we work with her, we might start where we just left off. Not guaranteed, but we can hope.